Motorola. We've not seen much of Moto here on C4E Tech in recent times because a lot of their launches have been underwhelming, to say the least. We've seen innovative phones like the Moto Razr that have been priced so high that they've been utterly destroyed by the competition from the likes of Samsung, who themselves don't have the greatest track record with competitive pricing. Now today's Moto G9 launch is just another letdown, another huge disappointment. Why? Watch on. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and if you do end up liking what you see in this video, thumbs up, subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. First, before we start, I have something to clear up. We have two major types of phones. First, you have the offline focused phones, like for example the ones you get from the likes of Oppo, Vivo and even Samsung's own A series. Then we have online focused phones like your Redmi's and Realme's, and there's a lot of price difference between offline focused phones and online focused phones. This is something I've explained in detail in an earlier video, and if you've not got that, here's a card to that video, do check it out. I promise you it's worth the watch. Now if you insist on not watching the video, the short version is, while being sold online, the middleman is cut out, distributor, sub-distributor, multiple warehouse logistics, showroom rent, etc. It's all cut out, which means the phones that are predominantly sold online are generally priced way more aggressively, which was what was expected of the Moto G9. Then we have another division: Chinese, non-Chinese. Chinese brands are generally priced cheaper due to the lower cost of manufacturing. Given Lenovo is Chinese and owns Moto, which makes Motorola a Chinese brand, we expect competitive pricing from Moto. And finally, with online phones, there is yet again a classification, a kind of niche, so to speak. A certain few phones are platform exclusive, and when they are platform exclusive, they are charged the least commission by online retailers like Amazon and Flipkart, apart from being given more visibility on said platform. For example, the Moto G9 is Flipkart exclusive, and hey, you can see it everywhere on Flipkart now, can't you? Now, despite all of this, the Moto G9 has currently launched at 11,500. So why does that suck? Why? 11,500 doesn't seem like much, yeah? Well, let's start with what's at the heart of the phone. The Moto G9 is powered by a Snapdragon 662 chip. The Moto G8 had a Snapdragon 635 chip. No, it did not. The Moto G8 had a Snapdragon 665 chip, making this one of the very few times that the new phone has a worse chip than its predecessor. So how worse? Not a lot at all. They're pretty close in CPU and GPU performance. Actually, with the 662, it just loses a little bit with AI performance. The theoretical 4G performance takes a hit too. That said, in reality, you shouldn't really be noticing any difference, if at all. For all intents and purposes, the Moto G9 should perform about as well as the Moto G8. Okay, performance hasn't taken a hit, and let's not even call that a negative. Now let's take a look at the display. You know how the Moto G7, the one from two whole generations back, that one came with a Full HD Plus display. With the last generation, they traded in the Full HD notched panel for a HD Plus punch hole. Not a fan of the trade, but hey, in some weird way at least, that kinda made sense, right? Kinda. You lost something, but you gained something. Given what you lost was way more than what you gained, but at least it was something at the end of the day. This time though, you lose the punch hole and you gain nothing. Actually, you gain the notch back. So no steps forward, 2 steps backwards. That is what has happened here. So Moto G8 performance, Moto G8 resolution, Moto G7 notch, and take a look at the marketing here for a minute. India's first Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 processor. If it is not an upgrade on your last gen, that is not something to be proud of. Why does Motorola not get this? That is not something to publicize. They seem so proud of this. No. The optics, they seem to have been upgraded. Not really. I mean, the G9 finally gets on the 48 megapixel bandwagon. eons after all other brands have. The primary is 48 megapixels, f1.7, but a lot of buts here. You remember, the Moto G8 that had a 8 megapixel ultra wide? Poof, that's gone. Instead, we have the also useful 2 megapixel depth sensor. The 2 megapixel macro, that's retained though. So again, we have a downgrade. Talking about downgrades, you remember how the Moto G6 and G7 had Gorilla Glass to the back? Now that's back. Oh, okay, that's not. We've got plastic here. The only area where we actually see a proper increase, a proper upgrade is with the battery. The capacity has grown to 5000 mAh and the charging speed is now up to 20 watts. Guys, now before you go ahead and call a phone a disappointment, before you say, hey, they're ripping you off, before you say this phone is not worth considering, you've got to kind of compare it, to what's in the market today. So given that this is a Chinese phone, let's go ahead and look at the Chinese online competition. What else is available? What other options do we have in this segment? Let's take a look at a few priced in and around the 15,000 rupee mark. 500 rupees lower, we have the Vivo U10. Vivo is not a brand that's known for great value for money online, but this one has a Snapdragon 665. It's 332, yes, but then of course this also has a dedicated micro SD, 5000 mAh battery, 18 watt charging, a wide angle camera is available, it even weighs lesser. Around the same price, 500 lower than the Moto G8, we have the Realme 5i 464, again Snapdragon 665 quad cam, so ultra wide is included, 5000 mAh battery. This has a 10 watt charger, but it hits back with 4K recording. Then there's the newer Narzo 10 from Realme. This is 500 bucks higher, but it comes with a more powerful Helio G80 chipset, and this is 4128. Again, ultra wide available, 5000 mAh, 18 watt charging returns. If you want to go Redmi, this one's actually 1500 rupees cheaper, 9999. We get 464, a similar G80, 5000 mAh, 18 watt charging, and this actually has a full HD plus panel. And with Redmi, if you want to go 11999, there's the Redmi Note 9. 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, full HD plus resolution, the even more powerful Helio G85 chip, 5000 mAh battery, even faster 22.5 watt charging, quad camera with ultra wide, and this display actually has a punch hole. The Redmi, this one even gets an IR blaster. Now these are just some offerings from the competition that I've mentioned. There are others as well, and these all indicate how much of a rip-off the Moto G9 actually is. Now there are someone who might say, hey, this one has stock Android and that's great. Now guys, this is a 662 with stock Android. Now let's go a couple of years back. The 662, it's actually close to the 660 in performance. The Zenfone Max Pro M2 came all the way back in 2018. Think about that for a minute. We are almost at the end of 2020, kind of. We're closer to the end of 2020 than we are to the start. Now this phone came in 2018, and back then it launched at 11999. It had stock Android, it had a full HD plus display, Snapdragon 660, 332 yes, but it had dedicated micro SD and support for 4K. And it's been long enough that we are hoping to see a M3 soon. So anyway, the G9, it is such a frustrating phone. It is so disappointing how the mighty have fallen from being the brand that innovated this segment, that almost birthed this segment, to being the brand that's ripping off its hardcore fans. Because let's be honest, it's only the hardcore fans who are buying Moto phones these days. I mean, think about it, the Snapdragon 7 series, the starter 710 for 1.5 lakhs, this is the brand that sold that. That's cheating the consumers. And this, the Moto G9, this is almost cheating the consumers. Anyway, I think from time to time, it's important for YouTubers, for tech reviewers to point out the mistakes of brands. And that's what I've tried to do in this video. Be honest and show you guys why the G9 is such a ripoff. If you feel someone needs to speak out and give you a voice, then please do share this video. Make sure you are heard. And that's pretty much it. Rant over. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about the video. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm just signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.